Okay, great. And can you see my screen? Can you see my screen okay? All right, great. So this is going to be the home screen. Every time you log on, this is what you'll see. And from here, you can access any settings. You can contact support, access any of our help support files. And in those links, we have some training videos, again, with the subscription and the training. But we do have support videos on there in case you have a question or are able to get a hold of a trainer at that moment. And from here, you can also ask the scheduler, the patient account, to search for a patient, and go into the billing side of the system as well. So from here, we'll just start out with the book. You can see very colorful, bright. All these colors made by you. The setup is set up by you as well. So you can see at this top bar right here, you break it up according to zones or areas. So we have one room, one for some adjustment room, massage room. But again, that'll be however your office is set up. If you have separate rooms or separate tables, separate zones, you can break those up the same way. Down here you can see the colors, different types of appointments. So you can see right here in this red, that's going to be an adjustment. This bright blue here is going to be a 1 hour appointment for a new exam, and purple will just be a re-exam. But again, you'll set those up for the you'd like to see them. And you'll set those for a specific amount of time. So as soon as you put in the new appointment here, it's automatically going to schedule it for 30 minutes for you because you're putting it in as a new patient. And I just want to make sure, are you hearing me okay? I just am getting a lot of echoes. Okay, great. And from here, you can also just right-click to either say that the patient arrived, didn't show up, canceled, and go right to the patient account for payments or right to the soap notes as well. And we also have this feature to find the next slot. So if you're ever trying to schedule a patient for multiple appointments at one time, you can just filter your search however you'd like. The zone, say it's a new patient, so you want to use the exam room with one specific doctor for, say, next week until the middle of February. They can only come in, say, 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. here, and only on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So I'm going to do it for the next week. And then after it takes a minute to think here, it's going to bring you up all the possible options for the search range that you entered. And you can select any ones that you'd like here, or you can select all of them. Just hit confirm for whichever patient you'd like, and it's going to throw those right in the scheduler for you as well. And then down here, you can filter your search through the scheduler any way you need to as well. So if there's a patient who's been coming in and you did schedule them every Monday and Wednesday, for example, for the next few months, but they decided they want to stop coming in or they moved or for whatever reason, they're not going to be able to come in. So you can just search for that specific patient. This is Andy Aaron. And we'll do the same date range here. In the middle. I'm sorry? Yeah. No, that's okay. As long as you're not saying anything and the echo isn't covering it, it's fine. I can ignore my own voice. So I'm going to use a different patient here. But anyway, if you use the right patient, it's going to bring up the whole list of all those appointments. And then you can just cancel those right from there. So you don't have to search through the calendar day by day to find all the appointments. Just cancel them all in one shot. You can also generate reports with any kind of filters that you'd like. So if you just want to see all the patients that arrived for 1 week to make sure, at the end of the week that all their claims were submitted or each patient had a soap note done for them, you can search through it for this way. Call all providers, say just for last week here. Right from there you can see. Okay, any questions about the scheduler? Pretty simple, but has a lot of different little intricate features. Correct. You can filter it. Correct. You can filter with any of these drops here. And for any type of appointment status too, or any type of appointment type. Okay. All right. So from here, we'll just go into the SOAP note. And this is going to be the general patient account here. You can see a color-coded workflow tree here to see what's been done, what's yet to be done, what's been started, hasn't finished. And for this patient, we'll just go in and add a daily note. So like we had talked about before, over in the upper right-hand corner here, it's going to show you the patients on deck. So these are the ones that have been checked in for today. So whenever the doctor's in the treatment room or the exam room, they can see the day of waiting next. And from there, you can go right into their SOAP note as well. In this box right here in the middle, it's going to show you all the dates of service for that particular complaint. All other information over here and dates of service. So if you ever need to backdate a note, you can do that as well. And this is just a little sticky note that's going to follow the patient through all their notes. And if there's any new notes added, that's going to flash in red. So, for example, say the patient checked in at the front desk and your office manager remembered that it's their birthday, so they might just type in a quick little sticky note saying, just a reminder to say happy birthday. So then when you open up this patient note, that's going to be flashing at you. So you open it up and it'll say, hey, it is his birthday. Let me wish him a happy birthday. Or any note, remember to collect the copay, anything like that. So then as soon as you get down into the SOAP note here, it's going to automatically show you the results from last visit. So you can see for this particular patient, last time they checked in, they were complaining of lower back pain, rated 8 out of 10 on the VAS, frequent, moderate, increased by sitting, walking, and bending, decreased by ice, heat, and ADVO. We do have a little some cheat sheets here if you need to define those for the patient. So if today it's staying at 8, you don't have to adjust that at all. But hopefully they're getting a little bit better, so we'll knock it down to a 6. For stiffness, maybe that's completely resolved, so we'll just take that out of there. And that's it for this objective. Move down to the objective here, and you can see what's highlighted are the spinal malposition findings. So if nothing's staying the same, you'll just leave those highlighted. But say maybe the SI is a little bit better today, so we will just uncheck that. You can see we do have some findings down in tenderness here. So down here in the posterior upper leg, there's a little bit of tenderness. And again, this is just a drag and drop. So really quick with a touch screen. Or you can use a mouse as well, just like I'm doing. And if there's any new complaints, you just click the body area. It can be as specific or as non-specific as you'd like. So if you just want to keep it lower leg, you just X that out and write it. Hit OK. So that's it for the objective if there's no new finding. Let me come down to the assessment. We can see these are the 4 diagnoses that we have listed. Primary is sciatica, second is myalgia, third is lumbar segmental dysfunction, and SI strain. But say maybe the SI today is a little bit more than everyone else. So you can just drag and drop to reprioritize these however you'd like. And if there's any new diagnoses, you just go right into this list. And the system will automatically come with a generic stock list, which is pretty typical for chiropractors. But you can uninclude any of those that come in that list, or you can go back in and add any new diagnoses at any point in time. So say we just want to add a new one real quick. And they're progressing a little bit faster than usual. The intensity slightly decreased. And from here, you're going to go down plan, put in your procedure codes for that day. So it's going to automatically give you this option to either code for the prior visit or ask for your care plan. And we'll go through the care plan in just a minute. But for now, we'll just stick to the prior visit. So the CPT codes that are going to come out are going to be the ones you billed for last visit. So you can see for this patient, we did the CMT, just 1 to 2 reasons, using the diversified in the lower back. And the goals that we coded for to relieve pain, increase mobility, motion, and improve function. So if these change at any point, you can always uncheck it or add new ones. And it's not going to let you select the time because CMTs aren't time-based units. You can come down here to therapy, get the exercise. Again, you can see what exactly specific exercises we did. If we added any new ones, just check it right in here. So let's say today that the lower back pain wasn't so bad that we wanted to uninclude the electrical stimulation. So all we have to do is uncheck that. We're ready to go. So from here, you can save the note, and you can save without signing, which means you can come back in at any point later in time and alter the note, or add in a care plan, or add in any findings, or you can save inside and be done with it. So each provider is going to get their own unique authorization pin to sign off on it. So we try and save and sign. Right here, this is just one of the compliance features. It's going to yell at you, saying that you forgot for the 9711 for therapeutic exercise. You forgot to list the amount of time that you spent doing that. So it's not going to let you save and sign that note until you have it completed. And again, we don't have the minimum time in there. And we don't have one listed for ultrasound either. So it's not going to ever let you sign off on a note to generate a claim until you have everything coded properly and everything in that note that needs to be. And then from there, that note is done for the day. So you can see, as long as nothing's changed too much from the last visit, it takes about 20 to 30 seconds for a daily note once you're proficient with the system. Any questions about that screen? Okay, easy enough. You like it so far? Oh, great. And then each daily note is also going to generate a narrative. So if you just come down here to the current narrative, I'm going to open it up in Microsoft Word for you. And it's going to have the subjective information, objective, everything that was in the daily note just spelled out a little bit better for you. And this is what the insurance companies are going to want to see. And from here, since it is in Microsoft Word, you can print it off, you can save it to your own hard drive, or you can just email it right off. And each... Yeah. Yep, as long as when you create your username, you mark it off in the security settings that you will be able to have access to those notes. And then you can go right on and bring those up. And then each daily note is also going to generate a super bill report, which if you're using our billing system, you don't need to worry about too much, but you have this, again, in Word to print off, send off, or save. It's going to give you all the CPT codes for that particular day, the fees, and for all the diagnoses associated. And once you have your signature scanned in here for that provider, it's going to automatically pop up with electronic signature. So you don't need to print it off and then sign it. And this is also a new feature we just added recently to the progress graph. It's going to show you a color-coded visual representation of the progression of that patient. Oops. Looks like my internet just kicked. Sorry about that. All right. So now you can see the process is logging on. It's really easy. You're just going to click on a desktop icon, put in your username and password. All right. We are back up and running. All right, we'll try this progress graph again, see what happens. And it looks like that might be the future. Let's get another one started right away. And this is actually the account that I'm using to show you. We have two different servers, one for production, which is what all of our subscribers use. The one that I'm using is our test server. So sometimes if they put new changes in, especially little things like that with the progress graph and they don't tell me about it, that creates a problem. But this will never happen with the version that subscribers have, because they don't do the changes until everything's been tested and approved. All right, so again, I'll just kind of tell you about that progress graph. It's just going to bring up, again, obviously a visual graph of every complaint that patient has through the course of their dates of service, just the ups and downs for every symptom. If there'll be pain or weakness. And from there, you can print that off as well to either show the patient their progression of symptoms, show that to the insurance companies, anything you'd like to do with that. So just a nice little bell and whistle, but that's going to make or break it. And every patient is going to have their each electronic file cabinet. So from here, you can either upload, import, scan in any document you'd like to say specific to that patient. A lot of the times, the offices will use this for insurance cards or X-rays, insurance documents, anything that you'd like. Some doctors even have photographs of their patients in there just so they can get to know them better. Any questions about any of that? Okay, great. So that was, again, just 20 to 30 seconds once you have an established patient. From the home screen here, if a new patient calls in, when you get started, you just go to Add New Patient right here. And everything that's highlighted in red is required to get started. So all you need is the first name, last name, their date of birth, their gender, and what the condition is related to. We'll say non-accident. And from here, you also have the option of taking that patient's email address. And if you type that in and select this little box that says Send Resend Patient Email, that's going to send them an email with their own specific username and password that's going to give them a link to what's called our patient portal. And when they log into that patient portal, they're going to have access to all the initial patient questionnaires, which I can show you right here. And this patient was marked off as an auto accident, so they're going to receive the specific auto accident questionnaire. And all the information that they select and input in this portal, once it's saved and signed off on by that patient, with the cloud, it's going to automatically upload into your system. So as soon as that patient checks in at the front desk, all that information is going to be there for you. So they don't have to sit in the office and fill all that out. You don't have to wait to review it. You can have that in your system reviewed and ready to go by the time they get there. But if you do have a patient demographic that isn't too computer savvy or they don't have access to the internet, you can always just print these forms off and have them ready for when they do check in. Any questions about how that works? Okay. So we'll go back in and add a new patient, and then I'll just kind of show you the flow of how everything works. Is there anything you want to focus on specifically, or you just want to see everything? Nope. Okay. Okay, sure. Well, since you're not really going to be creating a note, I won't go through another soap note for you to give you more in-depth detail. But I will just explain the care plan, which is kind of one of our signature features and based for compliance features. And this is something that the doctors set up, save them for templates. So say, for example, you treat a lot of patients with sciatica. You can create a template of care plan for anyone with sciatica. And you can have just kind of the generic 3-phase care plan. So for the acute care, what procedures you're going to do for that. So maybe some e-stim, ultrasound, a little bit of light therapeutic exercise, and you move on to more of a rehabilitative stage where you're going to up therapeutic exercise and limit the modalities. You're going to plan that all out and save it as a template. So the next time that you have a patient that comes in with that sciatica, you want to apply that same treatment plan to them. So just go through this care plan wizard, make any quick modifications, and that'll automatically be applied to that patient. So if you remember in the soap notes, as soon as you get to the daily procedure codes, it's going to ask you if you want to bill for the procedures from last visit or for the care plan. And so say you're on the 10th visit for that particular patient with a care plan for sciatica. And in the care plan, the 10th visit is in the second stage. So it's going to bring up all the CPT codes for that rehabilitative stage, so you don't have to input those every time. It's going to automatically be there for you, and if you do add anything new, you can add something. If not, you can delete it right from there. But we'll just move on to the billing here and show you that. Okay. Yes, they're actually not canned. It's just a wizard that's going to make sure that you input all the information that you need. I can just run you through the wizard real quick so you can see what it looks like. And all the information that's going to go in there, such as the procedures and the codes and the goals, are going to be things that you personally input in the settings ahead of time. So there's nothing that's really coming from our system. It's all going to be what you input. So of course, it's going to ask you for the specific provider, the appropriate type of care plan. Here, if you want to use a template, so we'll just use one template to see how it's set up. So here, it's going to select any diagnoses that you want to associate with that care plan. So for this one, we just have cervicalgia. Any contributing conditions, any aggravating conditions, you want to add those. Code for the CNS levels for new or established patients. Didn't do any diagnostic tests. So here, just going to stage out the plan of care. So again, we'll have 3 different stages. One for passive or acute, then acute and corrective, and then the last stage will be strengthening and rehabilitative. And again, all these stages and everything are going to be imported or going to be entered into the settings when you get started with the system. Any of the long-term goals for the procedure in general, here we only have 2, just restoring tolerance to normal ADL and restoring functional independence. And then you're going to stage out your reevaluation. So for the passive or acute, every 2 weeks we're going to do a level 3. And for the active and corrective stage, we're going to do a level 3 every 4 weeks. So when it gets to be that 4th week of the active and corrective stage, it's going to automatically, for that daily note, code and bill for a re-exam. And here you're going to stage out the specific procedure types. So you can see for the passive stage, we have CMC, 1 to 2 regions. We don't need the 3 and 4. We have mechanical traction, e-stim, and Therex, and that's all. From here, it's going to make you do a specific type of the mechanical traction. So we'll do intersegmental, how many times a week, for how many weeks, the specific body parts, and then the goals for that specific week. And then just move through the stages. So everything's already in here. We're going to perform an end-of-care evaluation code for level 2. And this is where you would save it as a template if you'd like. So we're just going to overwrite the existing. And this should save for you. Yep, right here. And then you can see it's not necessarily a case note. It is a wizard to have everything organized, but the information that's inputted in there is what you put. So if you want to give that, you can see how it'll generate. Okay? All right. So we're just going to do a quick other note to generate a claim. Okay, so you can see as soon as you go to the billing, that claim that was generated is going to be right there for you. Then you can go into your primary claim, since we did a few different notes for her today. They're all going to be generated for you. And right from this claim, go right into the 15th one. And you can see all the necessary information that's filled out in here. And if there was anything, like I had told you before, that was missing, for example, if the zip code wasn't in there, this whole box would be highlighted in red for you. And this whole area would be highlighted in gray. Okay? So if everything's copacetic, which it looks like, there's no errors, you hit submission method, electronic. For any reason you ever have to do a paper claim, you have that option as well, just to go right to paper. So we'll keep it electronic. And all you should do is go to Submit eClaims, and they are submitted. And you just come into the submitted bucket and see that those went through. So that's how quick and easy it is. And if there's any claims that you need without having a SOAP, you can search for one there, or you can also just manually generate a claim. And you can search through all of the claims that are either generated, submitted, any that are rebilled, any that are on hold, right through the screen right there. And with the auto-posting feature that I explained to you the other day, unfortunately, I'm not able to demo that for you just because you need to have live electronic EOBs coming back. And we kind of have a dummy insurance account here, so that's not going to be able to show you. But again, anything that you submit through eClaims that has the ability to be returned electronically will, and it'll automatically post right here. And then yes, correct. Yep. And any patient payments that you need to post right from the screen. And if it's a copay, deductible, or anything like that, it'll just be right in this screen. And then each patient is going to have their own ledger, which right now is a little confusing, especially in this test account, because this is what we use to demo and kind of play around. So there's a lot of junk data in there, so it looks a little messy. Oh, okay. Sure. I'm going to be back here in the settings. So you just go down here into discount. So we would go into hard ticket. So there's two different types of hard discount. One is the poverty method, and one is the underinsured. So would you frequently be using the poverty or the underinsured, or both? Underinsured? Okay. Sure. So from here you have options on how you calculate how you want to apply these discounts. So this one we just have set for the previous tax year only. And this scale right here is you're going to set the maximum percentage of discount that you would ever want to give a patient. From here we have it set to 90. The minimum would be 10. And then depending on how you, it could be anywhere in that range. And you can see here the select the high medical at which the patient is to receive the maximum or low. And the legality of how you would want to solve this up is something that I would have to go over with David Klein, one of the co-founders of compliance and coding expert. He's really, really well versed on this and actually sets it all up himself. But you would just set your scales here, and then when you get into the patient payments, you would put in their however you set that up. So for their income before taxes or after taxes for the previous year, what their insurance is like, and then it would automatically calculate for you. We don't have this set up very well to show you, but do you want me to explain that more? That makes sense? Okay. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Whether you can use our discount module to figure that out, or if you have your own system, you would come right here into payment, and you can see right here, you can set them up on a payment right here. And I apologize. We had a storm yesterday, so our internet is a little funky. Oh. All right, I'm going to go into the... But yes, however you decide you want to figure out that payment plan, you can enter it right into this financial module here. And this financial module isn't automatically included in the base subscription. That would be an extra $20 a month. So that you'd be looking at $269 a month instead of $249. Yes, this is going to cover how you would set up the payment plans, and it'll also include that discount module if you ever want to use our module to figure out the discount. Not to do a payment plan, no. And this is how you would do that. So you can either set up for auto draft credit card if you need, not to be paid down payment during each month if you prefer one day of the month, or you can do it each week on a particular day for a set number of months or until a set end date. Any questions about that? This is going to set it up for you, and then if you like to automatically debit the cards, you would have to get set up through SecureNet, who is the merchant services company that we use, and to actually do the credit card processing, that's an additional $20 a month as well. Mhm. Right. Yeah. So you could, this module, the screen that you're looking at, will help you calculate and help you plan it out, but it's not actually going to debit unless you go through the merchant services company. Do you already have a credit card processing that you're using? Okay. All right. And again, we use eClaims as our online claim. So we have them interfaced with our system here. So you can access the eClaims reports right through the system. You don't have to go to the eClaims website or anything. Everything's going to be right here. And your other reports, any aging report, and kind of patient by patient reports, patient statements. Yeah, I'd have to go through, see which patient has it, but you can see it's really easy and completely integrated, so you're not going to be going from our soap notes into your billing system and going back and forth. Everything is just right here. And I know that's a very simple, kind of quick, so I can go into more detail with anything that you'd like to see, or if there's anything you want me to go back to, any questions you have, we can kind of go in any direction that you'd like from here. Okay. Okay. Great. I know I didn't go into detail with the soap notes, so if the doctors actually want to see how you would create an initial exam and go into more detail, I would be more than happy to go through that with them. But I know you're not the one writing the notes, so I didn't bother to go into too much detail. Okay. All right. Oh, absolutely. I do. And again, in the meantime, any questions or you need anything quick, just let me know. All right. All right. Look forward to hearing from you. Sure. Bye-bye.